The void, but somehow different this time.
Surprised I can pull you into this place? The outsider marked me long ago. I made you flee your precious tower and turned your father into cold stone. How difficult for you. But when I was young, sweet Jessamine and I were close as sisters, sharing a secret. Emperor Coldwin had another daughter, born in shame to a kitchen maid.
Am I dreaming? If not, how is Delilah doing this?
Games in the tower, but at night I'd go back to the servants' quarters to cockroaches and thin gruel. Emperor Daddy would visit and tell me if I was good. Next year I'd be old enough to come to court to be a princess. Then one day, pretty Jessamine broke something worth a fortune, and the spy master caught us. She claimed I did it, and he whipped me in the garden house until I bled. My mother lost her kitchen job, and that night we were out on the streets with no place to sleep.
I didn't break it.
Would you like to tell me what you did?
We were just playing.
You're playing Jessamine. Who is your now?
It was her. Delilah's light. She broke it.
Saw the nastiest parts of Dunwall, ending up in debtor's prison. Jessamine died quick on an assassin's blade, but my mother lingered for weeks after a fat guard broke her jaw. They threw me out when she died. I looked up at the lights of Dunwall Tower and swore revenge. Washing bed sheets in a brothel, I painted on the side, until Anton Sokolov took me as a student. That's the polite word for it. I was crafty even before the outsider marked me, and survived the worst the Empire could offer. Now it's your turn.
My mother's sick. She needs help.
Your mother kicked off while you were out begging. She's another bag of bones now, girl.
What? No!
Her sentence is served and she'll be tossed out with the others. You can't stay here anymore.
Hard to know whether my dear old aunt is telling the truth or not. When I was young, the Loyalist conspiracy that kidnapped me also took Anton Sokolov. They brought him to the pub where I was being held and locked him in a cage meant for dogs. And you know what? Sokolov laughed at them. He taught me lessons and told me funny stories. He seemed immortal. His mind shaped our age. That's changed. The old man I rescued doesn't talk much. He eats what we give him, groans in his sleep, coughs out blood. I thought he'd tell me the secret to defeating Delilah and saving the Empire. I'm not even sure he knows where he is.
even in the void, if only I could do more.
Mother? That wasn't a dream, was it?
Am I to blame for Delilah's bitterness?
No. She's the one who orchestrated the coup.
Our decisions have weight. I feel my time drawing to an end soon.
For a man of his age, Sokolov's making better progress than I would have expected.
Good to see you're still with us. Thank you for helping, Anton.
Sokolov's not the only one making a rapid recovery. I'll be good enough to leave soon. There's a lot to do. Of course, unless the Duke falls, he'll undo my best efforts here.
Then we'll have to make sure Duke Luca Abel doesn't overstay his welcome.
Karnaka's key leaders are flawed, for certain. After all this is settled with the Duke, and the time of the coup has passed, whichever ones are left standing could change things here. Consider that, as you come face to face with the Duke's remaining associates.
I appreciate your thoughts on the matter, Alexandria.
I wish there was something I could remember to help in your efforts. Megan is worried that someone will see us coming and going. I might depart soon. Anton and I are both in your debt.
Jindosh wanted me to help him with a rather complicated problem. It would have enabled him to make his clockwork soldiers at a fraction of the cost. Clever man.
Not clever enough. What's wrong with people like that?
A restless mind and an empty heart, perhaps. Jindosh would have snuffed me out as soon as he got bored. I appreciate what Emily did for me, freeing me from that place.
I searched for you, Anton. I would have found you.
I knew you'd try, Megan. They kept me going after they gave me to Jindosh.
Either way, you're back now. I'm glad.
Anton, when I brought you back, you could barely speak. But it's been 3 days.
They tortured him. His body is covered with bruises.
Delilah has the throne, and my father is missing. This is Anton Sokolov, the greatest mind in the Empire.
No, Emily. Megan is right. I can make electricity move from one side of the room to the other, but Delilah is beyond my understanding. When I came to Serkonos, I meant to leave everything behind. But when the assassination started, I couldn't ignore it. By the time Megan and I connected the murders to the Duke, it was too late. The Crown Killer came for me. It kept me alive from my knowledge, but I saw things. Jindosh often had a visitor, Brianna Ashworth.
She's the curator of the Royal Conservatory.
Yes, Ashworth is dangerous, as obsessed with the occult as Delilah. Apparently, she's working on a device called the Oraculum.
There's more to her than either of you know.
If Ashworth is one of Delilah's lieutenants, I need to eliminate her. Who knows what this device is capable of, or what she's up to. One of the more elaborate structures in Karnaca, closed to the public. More of the Duke's questionable rulership. It'll be good to see the Royal Conservatory, even if it's closed to the public.
There's a spark in your eyes. Something other than hate, which surprises me given all that's happened. Maybe I should begin a series of bloodfly-related sketches. Infested corpses and the like. I've never paid a visit to the Royal Conservatory, but allegedly it has a number of unique pieces. The familiar creaks and groans of the dreadful whale. I lie awake listening, just to remind myself I'm safe again.
Meet me at the skiff when you want to set out for the Royal Conservatory. Ashworth has an interest in the occult. That's a snotty way to put it. In another life, you might be facing me along with her. Head to the skiff when you're ready, Empress. Delilah's cult must be thrilled she's got the throne, but she wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. We'll take the skiff. I don't want to bring the dreadful whale any closer than we have to. There is a small dock in Syria Gardens, close to the conservatory. That's as far as I can take you. Ready to go?
Yes, let's go.
There'll be a Grand Guard presence outside the Royal Conservatory. Inside, be prepared for anything. Ashworth runs with an eclectic crowd. They'll be the real danger.
Someday I'd like to know more about how you met Ashworth.
I know you would. Trust me. Ashworth is important to Delilah, which brings up something else. You might be able to exploit the Abbey of the Everyman in removing Ashworth from play. Turns out the Vice Overseer in Karnaca has been watching Ashworth from a hidden outpost near the Royal Conservatory. Check it out first if you want more options. Remember, if she's still working with Delilah, Ashworth is a grave threat.
Thanks, Megan. See you soon.
Time to pay the price if you want to live.
Oh no, please! I have nothing. I'm just a poor maid.
I see you've heard the stories about Pirate Betty, about all the terrible things I've done to the fools who refuse to give up some trinket or a bag of coins.
Have mercy! Don't hurt me!
Should I start by cutting off your nose?
Anyone help me!
Or maybe I could sign my name across your forehead with a knife. Use you as a human billboard.
Help! Murderer!
All right, no one's coming. What a bunch of cowards. We'll try it again later.
Horrible.
Dear Stomach, I've received your request and agree that dinner time cannot come quickly enough. Unfortunately, we are still on duty. I will get back. Lieutenant.
Nothing to report.
Wait till he puts as you were.
Once they say something's amiss, then I just can't get comfortable.
Ashworth, curator of the Royal Conservatory. For a while, I've believed Ashworth has some connection to the occult in Karnaca. Something is happening that I don't understand. The Overseers are the forward face of the Abbey, but equally important are our sisters from the Oracular Order. To be direct, I suspect something is wrong within their sect. Subtle changes to the types of proclamations they've been making. Small but troubling deviations from tradition. But publicly saying anything along those lines will get me accused of heresy by my rivals within the Abbey. Is it possible that Ashworth has infiltrated the Oracular Order?
So Vice Overseer Byrne thinks Ashworth is interfering with the Oracular Order. If true, it's another reason she has to be eliminated.
Greetings. I provide only the finest service with absolute discretion. Welcome to my shop. Say, an acquaintance of mine is supposed to be holed up in an office overlooking the Royal Conservatory. Check on them if you're headed that way. I'd check myself, but the streets are locked down. I'd make it worth your time.
I'll think about it.
See anything you like?
Karnaca, my Karnaca, brothers and sisters of my blood, and all the little people who make this great St. Trunder involved. This is the Duke. You must all know my voice by now. A new empress sits on the throne in Dunwall. Our rightful ruler, Delilah Caldwin, first of her name. May she reign forever. There are some traitors who question her claim to the throne. Morally, Divya. Treasonous nations skulking in the cold, gloomy north. A If they want war, we'll give it to them, no matter how many of you I have to sacrifice. Draconis will fight for Delilah to the bitter end.
Don't know you, stranger. Bad time to visit Karnaca. Another week, another bloodfly edict. Who's running this city?
I've seen a whale once. Scary, but
Careful with that
never
sword.
forgot it.
The Grand Guard won't like it.
I got thrown around by the Grand Guard yesterday like a sack of flour. Your face is covered. The Grand Guard won't like that.
The conservatory. I wanted to visit this place with Wyman.
Who is this man, Kieran Jindosh? And what power does he hold over Brianna? Are they lovers?
Perhaps, but that wouldn't give him any power over Brianna. Jindosh is an ally, an agent of the Duke, gifted in the ways of natural philosophy. Together, they've built something that can pierce the void itself.
I've never seen Brianna work with machines. She's always relied on precious bones and ivory, carved in a room with no light, painted with ash and moon's blood. If our mistress hears you've been looking at her old journals in the Forbidden Archives, she's going to be cross.
I only had a bit of a peek. Brianna was busy with something elaborate just before Delilah came to Karnaca. I wanted to know what it was.
I'm teasing, Tamina. I read it too. Do you think Delilah really could have done that? I've heard the same stories about Paolo the Howler.
What you've heard about Paolo is not the same. He's a street orphan, full of tricks. But I have faith Delilah could do such a thing.
Coming back? It doesn't seem possible, that's all.
My dear Orlando, some people see doors where you and I only see walls.
Poor Lucinda. She wanted to raise the Bloodbriar, but cannot. After trying to make greyhounds for weeks, she gave up. You should have seen the twisted things she made. All snouts and teeth and tails.
That's just the way it is, dear Parmelia. Delilah wears the outsider's mark, and some of what she can do flows down to us.
It doesn't seem fair.
Think about working your fingers raw, weaving nets, or raising cows to slaughter. Any of the gifts we receive is better than living under the tree.
That's true and fine. A wise way to look at things. But it won't help Lucinda rise any higher in Delilah's favor.
Jindosh was tiresome. How does this even work?
What a pleasant surprise to see you again. Welcome back. I see you found the prototype.
Your acquaintance didn't make it.
It is a risky line of work, I'm afraid, but let's not dwell. I expect you'll be interested in payment. First your finder's fee, of course, and if you like, I can draw up some schematics based on the prototype, something you can use to modify your tools. And as a token of my appreciation, a discount at the shop.
A fair deal.
Wicked ladies and hunters of slithering things in the hours handmaids and magistrates, come before me and bow, for I am Delilah, your queen.
All hail Delilah. The moon in the sky and the mist lying over the lake like a blanket.
Amelia, dear, if Brianna hears you and her mood is off, you're going to lose an eye making fun like that.
She's only having fun, Francesca. And Brianna's too busy with the communion to be bothered. She's got her mind. Sisters of the Oracular Order.
Yes, because otherwise the Abbey will see us all blackened by fire. Now stop with this nonsense. No, sister, that's not what he intends to do. He will carry them to the harvest market, as he swore he would. But the harvest will fail. I see it now, all is withered with light. Now frost upon all the fields east of Potterstead, and to the south, the fields are burning. We must warn them. Burn the fields. Make a black line across the map to stop the light. Last night, sisters, is it an object of heresy? Something crafted by apostate hands. I see stains on the fingernails. Long, fine fingernails. Not blood, no, not wine. It is the ink from a squid. A squid caught in the cold, cold waters above the world. The western corner of Tinker, by sailors from the Eagle. Caught in a long line of red silk, drawn up from the dark waters. No, not useful. Not useful at all. But I see the long, lovely hands again, stained by ink, raising the knife out of a box made of colored paper. I cannot see what's contained within, but the King of Morning is there. In the room with the others, while his queen sleeps in their bed. The ladies of Dunwall Tower, and they are dying. Delilah and her coven are not alone, but they are with the clockwork men. High Overseer Kulan orders the ancient music played, but it does no good. The clockworks are not things of heresy, sisters. The music has no effect. The Overseer's departing. The High Overseer's dragged away. He fights by their strength in his body, even while the tears from his eyes. His eyes grow dull as the blood runs from his body. He waits to surprise the one who returns to Dunwall Tower. Only one of the Overseers still remains, and he had a mission, given by one of us, by one of the sisters. But he will fail, and we will never know the answer.
What would you and Father advise if you were both here? Sometimes I dream we're all together again.
Anything more to give us?
Sokolov was taken away as well.
Not that ancient fool. Never mind. How goes the communion? I am hungry to whisper into the ears of the oracular sisters.
My influence grows. Last night, I walked through a dream with one of them, and we drank from a fountain in the town where she was born.
Vice Overseer Burns' suspicions were right.
He continued to tinker with the lenses, thicker, thinner, more opaque. It was tiresome to watch. I still have the old lenses and cast-off parts piled in my workshop, but Jindosh finished some time ago. The rest is up to me, learning to use the machine. A tricky thing, touching the void through such a device.
Blood and biscuits. I look forward to using it myself once you're ready. Perhaps. Dunwall Tower is mostly in hand. The High Overseer won't be a problem anymore. And there's the matter of my own project. I grow more excited with each brushstroke. When I come to Karnaca, we'll drink an ocean of good wine and stay tight as a moist ice.
I look forward to it.
For now, I need your eyes on the Duke. At least until we have the sisters under control. There's no one else I trust. I'll reach out to you again on the morrow. Farewell.
Goodbye, Delilah, my empress. It seems rather rude to die here, whoever you were.
Ashworth's journal might tell me more about why Delilah can't be killed. These odd lenses might be linked to what Ashworth is working on. If I can sabotage Ashworth's communion device, she'll be powerless.
I meant nothing to my fine family, beyond an advantageous marriage and years of childbearing. They promised me to a man 3 times my age who wheezed on about our wedding night. But a curious thing happened on the way to the altar, Delilah. From the first time I slipped out of the manor in the dead of night, there was no returning to my cage. Looking at the stars and drinking wine on a rooftop, I was free. Instead of seeing the overseers for marriage, I visited my father's banker and raced away from my old life toward Delilah. Those were the Coven's glory days.
All that's left to do is hit the switch, and Ashworth should be powerless.
Do now? I'm ruined. That feeling. The things I could do. The touch of the void. Delilah. It was everything I had. I'm no threat to you now. To anyone. Please, no. I'm no threat to you now. To anyone. That's it. I'm done. Leave me be. Leave me be. I'm no threat to you now. To anyone.
Delilah fell to the assassin Dowd, her magic was lost, and the coven scattered. I made a new life in Karnaca. Then I heard her whispering from the void, leading me to the Duke, who heard those same whispers. Together we worked to bring Delilah back into the world, changing the Empire from the home of Aramis Stilton 3 years ago. Across the Isles, all of us who'd been with her at Brigmore and before, we felt the magic return. Others joined, new faces, new blood. Now, Delilah is immortal, forever. She holds Dunwall, and we've turned to corrupting the oracular order. The Overseers take guidance from their prophetic sisters, and soon we'll influence their dreams and visions.
As if you could ever hide your face from me, Emily. Little Black Sparrow, free from your cage at last.
It's done. Brianna Ashworth is no longer a witch.
You villain! You don't even know what you've done. A great bloom wilts and fades from the world.
Delilah, I will take apart everything you've built until I have what's mine.
Oh, Brianna. I don't believe we will speak again. The thought of seeing you reduced to such a pale, sad thing. It's too much to bear. I hate you for this, child.
I'm not only going to restore things to the way they were, I'm going to make them better.
So it's done.
Ashworth won't be a problem anymore.
Good. But Emily, there's something else. Back when I lived in Dunwall, I did things. But I'm not proud.
Isn't that a requirement for citizenship?
What I've got to say is not a joke. I knew Delilah and Ashworth. Bought into their bullshit. Which led me down a bad road. To be honest, before all this, I thought Delilah dead. I don't want to get into it right now. But I felt like you should know. There are things I regret.
All right, Megan. Thank you for opening up. If only a little.
I'm starting to feel like you deserve it. Are you ready to leave now?
Yes. Let's go. Take me back to the Dreadful Whale.
Another step toward the Duke of Serkonos. And Delilah.
For several years, Delilah's been here, getting stronger, turning people against me. Why didn't I see it coming? What was I doing during that time? Pretending to listen at court, ruling through an army of bureaucrats, waiting for the next chance to get free of Dunwall Tower. Well, now I'm free. If only I could go back. Aramis Stilton was once an ally of the Duke. The owner of Karnaca's mines, Stilton lives in a fortified bunker at the heart of the Dust District. No one's seen him for years, since around the time Delilah started making her moves. But whether Stilton's alive or dead, his home holds the key to Delilah's immortality.